All right then, let's do this. Yeah. Okay, just gonna check a few things. And then we can get started with today's stream. I'm going to be reviewing some exciting things happening in Narwhals and possibly looking at doing some work on pandas. Ooh, what's... All right, the audio sounds fine to me. If it doesn't sound fine to anyone, please let me know and I'll see what I can do to troubleshoot. All right, let's start with reviews then. We've got some exciting things going on. So, right, we've got this pull request for correlation. Why? Here it is. All right, now it should be showing. I'll just make this as large as I can, maybe zoom in a little so it's easier to read, 125%. Okay, right. A new extra kind is a bit overkill. I don't know. Let's take a look, but I like the look of this. So for context, what Ben is doing here is he's adding an expression nw.cor for calculating the correlation between two expressions or two column names or two series, I believe. Let's check a few things. So API reference check, nice. Then in arrow namespace, we've got two expressions, we've got method. So method here is annotated as string. We probably want to type alias for this. Let's check what it's like in narwhals.functions. Oh, here it is, literal Pearson Spearman. Yeah, whatever. Not overly bothered about what it is here, as this is just internal. Oh, it's not yet implemented for Arrow. Okay, sure. Then Dusk, yeah, here too. I thought I'd left a comment about using something like evaluate single output expression. Here it is. Ah, nice. I've used evaluate here and in other places where applicable too. Okay, let's get back to that. Let's see what is done here for DuckDB. So here, evaluate exprs and aliases. This looks more complicated than it needs to be. And this is a bit odd. So for IBIS, we're using evaluate exprs. But here we're using evaluate exprs and aliases. Now that's a little confusing. I'll just leave comments with everything I notice. Oh, right, Ben's actually here in the comments. Nice. Also, you did, and I missed the Dusk one, though. Okay, no worries. well, maybe I'll just leave a comment just so that it's here for reference and you can check the box as resolved as you go through it. So let's also use evaluate here. Yeah, and then here I'll just say I'm confused about why we're using evaluate here. Sorry, evaluate expers and aliases here, and evaluate for IBIS. It feels like they should be using something similar. Here we've got f car, and in IBIS, oh, it's just dot car, how equals pot. And yeah, curious about PySpark. Yeah, here, same. Feel like we're repeating some logic here. Maybe I need to check out the PR and try something out. This annotation, oh, this is also interesting. So here we've got literal Pearson Spearman, but for arrow, we didn't have that. Maybe let's comment on that then. Yeah, then let's go back to polars. I'm not sure about this. I think that by the time we get here, it must be polars expra. Yeah, there should be some extract native function you can use. Cool. Then Spark. Right. I feel like that was Spark. I feel like, yeah, maybe I'll just comment on that here. I think we should be able to share some code for the IBIS, PySpark, DuckDB implementations. They look quite similar. They all inherit from SQL namespace, but their namespaces. I think they should all inherit. Yeah, so it should be possible to just define it here. Right, so here we're just having to re-implement it in stable.v2. I think we usually leave examples out. I think we do. Yeah. We usually leave examples out from the stable API docstrings just to keep them down. Right, nice. And then, yeah, adding a 2 in it, that's fine. Multi-column aggregation, yeah. It kind of feels like this is a new kind that we're introducing. But do we need to know? It just makes me wonder, why do we need this? So let's do a search for this and try to understand why we couldn't just use aggregation. So here, from multi-column aggregation, so is element-wise is false, which I agree with. You need the context of, yeah, it doesn't just operate row by row. Like, you can't just consider each row in isolation. Definitely doesn't preserve length, is scale alike. yeah, I mean, this should be the same as from aggregation. Right. This is the same then. So let's see why we might have needed this multi-column aggregation. So the top level Narwhal functions. Yeah, this looks fine. Yeah, don't really have anything to say about that. Cool. And we've got some nice tests. Warning due to correlation methods. Do we want... Yeah, I'm not sure about ignoring... Yeah, so I'm not sure about ignoring this globally. Is it only some particular backend that raises this warning, and is it unnecessary? If so, can we silence the warning in the place where it's called if it's something that users wouldn't be able to do anything about anyway? All right. Cool, thanks. Thanks, Ben, for looking into this. Much appreciated. Just left some comments. If anything's unclear, please do feel free to ask. So I think let's just leave this for a little bit. Just let Ben work on it and see. I think yeah, often people want to try to complete what they've started. Let's let him cook on this a bit longer, and if yeah, then I can check it out and try taking it across the finish line if at some point it doesn't work out for whatever reason. I just want to take another quick look at this one, multi-column aggregation. I'm confused about why we need it. Yeah. Not sure what I am missing, but I don't see why we need this. Why can't it just be aggregation? And I'm sure there is something I'm missing. But I just... Yeah, I'd just like to understand. What? Yeah, okay, nice one. Cool. Right, let's take a look at some other things that are going on. There's some other PRs to take a look at, and then I might even take a look at a pull request which I've got drafted for polars, which I'm kind of excited about. It standardizes some daylight savings related things. Right, so what's going on? So a few things at the time. There's a couple that I had open that I didn't get any comments on, which are quite minor. I think they're fairly innocuous, so maybe let's just start by getting those in. One is this refactor of the expr node constructor, and another is this walrus operator, and another is this note about, yeah, just some note in the contributing guide. So let's, yeah, let's just ship these quickly. So yeah, it's just, yeah, really minor stuff, but there was an issue open and this closes the issue. So let's close the issue. I've let the open issues pile up too much. 172, too many pull requests. We need to start Okay, have we reconnected? Yeah, I think we've reconnected. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened with OBS. Okay, then this one. Yeah, a couple of people have noted that the current implementation where you've got that we pass down expression arguments as positional arguments and then non-expression ones as keyword arguments is very confusing. So it's better to just have an explicit expres argument here in the constructor. So here we're just doing expres equals other, expres equal default, expres is lower and upper bound, expres is predicates, value, lower bound, upper bound, lower and upper bound. This should be fairly trivial to get in. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, predicate and value, expres and value, flat expres, expres equals other. Yeah. Fairly is, wow. So string is the only namespace where we've got expression arguments. We don't have it for anything else. Interesting. Okay. Well, either way, let's ship it. Right then, who's next? So fix this check doc string rough usage. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Looks, yeah, sure. Ooh. Yeah, this one didn't need importing. Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, nice that you found this. Wow, nice. Yeah, I'd totally missed that we had all of these unnecessary imports. I'm, yeah, maybe slightly surprised. Either way, yeah. Oh, good. So check doc strings. Okay, there's just some extra things going on. Select and ignore. Okay, sure. Find rough bin. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not interested enough to disagree. So yeah, F and F 811. 821 as well. Okay. Sure, just a little refactor here. Yeah, this looks fine. Cool. Cool, thanks, Dan. Let's give him a nice narwhal gif. Because that's the law around here. One does not simply approve a pull request. I think this one's nice. And this is, yeah, just internal. Okay. What do we have next? Okay, this correlation implementation we've commented on. System, mkdocs warning, bump rough. Ooh, nice. Indices and values. This one's in draft. This one's, wow, 11 comments. Okay. Right, got a few things to review. So here we're just reviewing system and using system there. Yeah, looks good. Yeah. Yeah, can't complain. If anything, I got a bit bored of always typing system, so this seems quite nice. Yeah, it's the kind of thing I was getting a bit bored of, but I never found it high prio enough to want to spend time fixing it. So thanks, Dan, for taking care of this. Thanks, Dan. Yeah. This is internal. Oh, right, yeah, so we get some warnings. Yeah. No objections to yeah, sure. Yeah, there's some conflict. I think we need to just accept both of them. And yeah, let's ship this. No objections. When the explanation is 20 times longer than the actual change. Cool, yeah. Once it's a bit greener, we can do this. Okay, nice. Bump rough. Let's put the internal tag here. No, wait, yeah, this is fine. Nice. I feel compelled enough to smile at this one. I think it's a little hard to see like this. Let's unify the view. Yeah, so here, what? Is it just a formatting thing? Okay, fine. Just formatting, yeah. Sure, okay. Yeah, sure, nice. Okay, yeah, all good. Thanks. Then need to give a better narwhal GIF. Surely we can do better. Surely. It's quite nice. I quite like this wizard one, to be honest. Okay, let's ship it. So this might pop up in scikit-learn / scrub. Okay, sounds like this is a bit under discussion between them, so maybe I'll let them cook at it a little bit longer. Ugh, what is going on here? Did I merge something that I shouldn't have merged? Probably. In which case, it might be time to fix it. Lol. Just on the nightlies, everything fails. Wow. Wow. Is it just DuckDB that's... Did DuckDB just release a nightly? Like, why did this just suddenly start failing? Who just released something? Well, they did release a nightly about 4 hours ago. Makes me wonder. Yeah, curious to try this. But first, it's time for a break. I'll be back. Whoa, whoa. All right, let's get back to it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on? So, first of all, yeah, we've got some issues in CI. Are these? I kind of want to merge what I can and then see if we can fix things up. What's going on here? All right, this one is, yeah, this is an upstream issue reported to Polars. So happy to ignore it for now. They've actually shipped a fix, so I kind of just want to just wait for their next release and just wait for it to fix itself. Oh yeah, this nightlies will sort that out. Then what else is going on? Okay. Yeah, we should probably take a look at these too. Uh, uh, is this complicated? Um, Part of me wants to not worry about it being V1. Um, yeah, so I appreciate, yeah, appreciate him looking into this. Part of me does wonder whether the complexity is such that it's not worth doing. Let's take a look at allowing scalars in horizontal. Hmm. Yeah, we're expanding the type int quite a bit here. I don't know, I feel like I'm just maybe a little bit too tired today to something like this, which I think is a little complex. So first I'm just curious about the tests. Yeah, so we just allow for just using a single element there, which is quite nice. And then some horizontal. Yeah, okay, just sum a column with a number. That's quite nice. Align full broadcast. Now, there are some other operations where we do things here. The one that I have in mind is coalesce. Let's take a look at what we do for coalesce. Well, in coalesce, we don't actually do a full broadcast, do we? API reference, where is coalesce? Yeah, here we allow for literals. Right, yeah. So yeah, maybe I'd like to check if we need to do this align full broadcast. Eyeballing coalesce. Again, it looks like we didn't need to do it there. Can't remember why right now. Right, yeah, I don't think I have the brain power to think about the casting one right now. Oh, we've got a cool live PR updating itself. We might have some updates from Ben on this one, so let's take a look. Right, so evaluate. I thought we had something, so let's go into the code now and let's take a look. So this is the part of the stream where we do indeed start looking at code. Here we go. Here I was looking at some polars things. Let's just temporarily commit what I was doing. So work in progress. Follow RFC 5545 for non-existent results. I also kind of want to report something to DuckDB because I've noticed that I don't think that they follow this standard. And I just kind of want to understand why. Maybe it's okay. Anyway, we've made a commit, not gonna lose this. So let's go over to Narwhals. And yeah, where are we going to look? First things first, I'm curious about the DuckDB. Nah, DuckDB nightly can come later. So let's respond to Ben's PR. I think that we've got some like evaluate single output, something like that. I think we use something like that in DuckDB. Yeah, df.evaluate single output expr. Let's go back to the PR. I think you can do something like A equals evaluate single output expr A. I don't think that we should be concerning ourselves with aliases at this part of the code. Yeah, okay. Right, next things. Next, I'm curious about the DuckDB failure. So first of all, let's install the latest stable DuckDB. And let's run the tests for the DuckDB. Okay, so what do we have here? This is all passing. Now, let's install the latest pre-release. So DuckDB is 20 megabytes. How big is the how big has the Polars binary got? I remember somebody on GitHub complaining that installing Polars now takes up too much disk space. Let's see. Wait, what? $800 kilobytes? What? If I do something like no cache. No. Can it really be so small? Here we see just 800 kilobytes for the wheel. No way. Surely I'm misunderstanding something. Download files. Oh yeah, here we've got, wow, 20 megabytes or so. Is this really so small? But yeah, uncompressed, it's a lot larger. Interesting. I have no idea why or how that works. Anyway. Oh, fetch arrow table. now raises. Oh no. Is this with a particular version of... This is a bit annoying. Well, let's see if we can make a little example. So import duckdb. So I'm going to do select star from values 1, 2, 3, df a, b, c. Then Python t. Let's print this off. Y. Oh yeah, here it is. And then if I do fetch arrow table, oh, it's deprecated. To arrow table instead. Fine. Why was this one? Yeah, why did we get that test failure? What does this even mean? So confused. So let's put a breakpoint and see if that tells us anything. So self.native here is a duckdb relation. Looks fine. So self.native.toArrow table is absolutely fine. And fetch arrow. Wow, what the hell? So when exactly... So if it's 1.5 or above, we should probably use... let's just fix duckdb nightly. Whatever, fix duckdb nightly. Fetch upstream. And let's make sure we're up to date with upstream main to start with. And then .fetch arrow table. I think we might have several versions. No, that's it really. Okay. So we're going to say result native equals self.native.fetch. So to arrow table if self.back end version is greater or equal to 1.5, else self.native.fetch arrow table. All right, I need to actually use the res native, which I've made. Otherwise, there's not much point in avoiding the deprecation. Nice. And if we uninstall duckdb and then reinstall it, but without the nightly, then at first glance, it looks like things are still going to be fine. Okay, nice. So CI, not CI even, what do I even call this? I don't know. Sure, fix, address duckdb 1.5 fetch arrow table deprecation. I do enjoy testing out nightlies. It just means that you can be prepared for when releases happen. And you don't have to urgently rush to fix things or to pin versions, which is what a lot of packages seem to end up doing, unfortunately. So this is just internal. Right, so we're doing that. Speaking of DuckDB, I think it's a chance to take a look at something that I was checking out in Polars, where I can't tell whether DuckDB is breaking some norms or whether the whatever library is. But let's take a look. So what I'm going to do is, and because DuckDB I think is developed in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, let's use Amsterdam as our time zone. So time zone is going to be Europe, Amsterdam. And from whatever we're going to, no, sorry, not whatever. What on earth is whatever? What have I just installed? Pip install whenever. Huh? Oh, whenever. That sounds like a... I should make a new versioning scheme called whenever. I like the sound of that. So, from whenever, import zoned date time. And then, what we're going to say is start equals zoned date time 2025 10 27 2 time zone equals time zone, print start. Then we're going to add we're going to subtract 1 day. Now the reason why I've chosen 230 is that 230 I think this will need, wait, when is, not sure when they have a non-existent time zone. I can't remember when this happens exactly. I think it's at the end of March. Let's just try a few, and yeah, little binary search. Well, this is not what I was hoping to see. Oh, here it is, look. Oh, okay. Looks like we found it. Cool. Well, this is exactly what I was hoping to see. And let's also import polars. And I just want to demonstrate something. So I'm going to print date, time, range. And we're going to start with pl.datetime 2025 3 29. We're going to end with datetime 2025 3 29 at 5 o'clock. The time zone is going to be Europe, Amsterdam. Let's make it eager so we see the results straight away. And then, oh yeah, and we're going to take one result per hour. No, this isn't when they switched. It's the 30th. 20th. No, 30th. Looks like it's the 30th. Uh, 30th. Nice, yeah, this is what I was looking for. So on the 30th, they go from 1 a.m. until 3 a.m. They just skip 2 a.m. because that's how eager they are to wake up in the morning. So what happens when you do date time arithmetic around that time So if you start on the 31st of March at 2:30 in the morning, and then you subtract a day. So what the whenever library does is it goes forwards to 3:30. And if we do it the other way around, so if we started on the 29th, and then we add one day, yeah, let's take a look at this. So if we start on the 29th, and then we add a day, then they go back by an hour. And if we start on the 31st, and then we subtract a day, then they shift forwards by an hour. What does DuckDB do? So let's see, duckdb.sql set, what's the command? Here it is. Import duckdb. Okay, I then had a little example here using Narwhals, and in order to write the SQL, I think I'm just going to use to SQL. To native SQL query. Here we are. I kind of want to just be able to create a simple duckdb one. So let's do select A and then date add 1 day A as B from values. Right, let's now make the same dates. So this is going to be 2020. Let's start with the first one, this one here. How do you specify? I can't remember how to specify the types. Let's just try coming up with something. 2025 03 29 02 30 DFA. How do I make this? Maybe this is a good use for LLMs. Maybe, let's see. So fix this. Cast as timestamp TZ. Okay. not what I was expecting to see. Isn't y minus 06. Oh, wait, yeah. America, Denver. Let's put Europe, Amsterdam. Yeah, look at this. So they go forwards to 330. Whereas in also, is it possible to put all of this in the same command? Let's just see. Yeah, they go forwards to 330, whereas the whenever library goes forwards to 130. This seems a little sus. Let's take a quick look at GitHub. Let's get back to what we'd started. So this does successfully fix the nightly. That's quite nice. Do we need a link? Okay. So to arrow table. Is there no? Oh, maybe it's just in the Python client then. To arrow table. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's literally just linked here. So yeah, fetch arrow table goes to PyArrow lib.table, and now we're supposed to use to arrow table. Yeah. Okay, let's just link this. Yep, here you go. Okay, yeah, no big deal. Right, so that's one thing. What else did we have? I think Ben had a comment here, so let's take a look to see if there's anything we can do to help. Ignore user warning. Oh, this is probably just merging upstream main. Ah, right, so here can we, I think that's fine to change. Yep, that looks like a reasonable change. Cool. Where, yeah, here, I need to make sense of this. And also, this might be another good use case for LLMs to help make sense of, yeah, what is the standard. So let's start with where we are. So if I execute this in DuckDB, I get but if I do the same with the Python whenever library, which claims to follow RFC 5545, I get this, which prints yeah. Can you explain which one is right and why? Now well, let's see. So I've got a feeling that this is not going to be accurate or useful. DuckDB is doing wall clock time arithmetic, which adds exactly 24 hours of clock time. I don't think this is accurate, to be honest. Because let's put November on the other hand. And on November, there was the shift, I think, on the 26th. Let's go from the 25th. And let's add 2 days. So, yeah, no. This is still +1. When did they shift? No. 23rd. I had this earlier. So, yeah, here we've still got +1. Uh, 26th. 28th. When was it? 30th. Yeah, let's do a little binary search. So let's start on 20th. I thought, oh, it's October. It's not November. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Right. So like this, yeah, check this out. Like this, we're going from +02 until +01. And they preserve the wall time. They're not adding exactly 48 hours. Because if you did that, if you added 48 hours, A, C, yeah, if you add oh, what? I'm so confused. And this is this actually right? Let's start on the 26th at midnight then. And let's add 4 hours. If we add 4 hours, we do indeed get to 3 a.m. This looks correct. So if we add 24 hours, yeah, we get to 11 p.m. Whereas if we add 1 day, oh, so for DuckDB, 1 day, oh my, seriously? For DuckDB, 1 day is literally just 24 hours. It's not the calendar 1 day. Wow. How do I add 1 calendar day in DuckDB? Oof. I thought we had something like this. Well, this changes things a little bit. Yeah, here we're using data add. Oh. So if you do plus interval 1 day, oh, I've lost the thinking one. Oh, did I just... Surely it's going to be like that. Date add day 1. No, this cannot be real. Yeah, it's literally just adding 24 hours. I'm a bit surprised. I thought I'd looked into this before. Maybe not then. So here in time zones, yeah, they support the time zone for binning. Yeah, at an interval. Yeah, what if I do like a plus 1 day interval? Is this correct? Aha, look at that. Interesting. Okay, well, I need to report a bug. I need to open a bug about this. This is a bug in Narwhals. Yeah. We're not using the DSTOR sum properly. Let's open an issue about that. So, bug DuckDB offset by 1D adds 24 hours rather than 1 calendar day. So in DuckDB, adding interval of 1 day is different to using date add with 1 day. And let's add a little demonstration of this. this outputs this, yeah. In Narwhals, we're using date add, keep editing. And let's link to that. Let's go back to the main branch to do this. We should probably be summing an interval instead. Let's say that this is bug incorrect result. Let's also tag duckdb. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go back here to VS Code. And yeah, let's go back to analyzing differences between libraries then. So let's start there on the 329 to 30. And let's add 1 day. Now we know that this one is calendar aware. So what does duckdb do? It does take us to 3:30. Okay. Now the next thing to check is what happens if we subtract a day. So let's start on the 31st and let's subtract a day. Let's add both of these. So 29, let's go to 31st and let's subtract a day, -1 day. So now notice that for whenever, it gets shifted forwards to 3:30. And for... Wait, why don't we have 2 rows for duckdb? C, why do I... Let's make this D. Oh, DFA. Yeah, I want to have 2 rows. So here is the first row. And then here I want the second row. Yeah, here we are. And right, so this is the starting point. So, and this is plus an hour. So, oh yeah, for duckdb, in both cases, it shifts forwards to 3:30, whereas whenever, in one case, it goes to 1:30, and in the other case, it goes to 3:30. My brain is a bit fried, so it's time for an intermission. Right, I feel like I'm at capacity for today. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. All the best. See you next time. Ciao.